In the bustling streets of 1880s America, the emergence of daily newspapers birthed a new economic opportunity for the young and enterprising. Over half of the nation's newspapers were hawked by the spirited cries of newsboys and a handful of newsgirls, as they adapted to the growing demand by expanding into afternoon editions. This burgeoning market provided a vital source of livelihood for these youths, known affectionately as Newsies. These streetwise vendors bought bundles of newspapers each morning from publishers and faced the daily challenge of selling each copy to turn a profit. The stakes were high. Unsold papers meant financial losses, as they received no returns on unsold editions. The urgency of their task was underscored by the ever-changing news cycle, rendering yesterday's papers virtually worthless. Claiming their spots at busy intersections, theater entrances, and train stations, Newsies became iconic figures in city life. Their loud calls of the latest headlines and their efforts to earn tips marked them as both survivors and entrepreneurs. Many of these children transitioned from full-time labor to selling newspapers, drawn by the promise of flexible hours that accommodated their circumstances. Despite their hardiness, many Newsies were clad in meager attire, thin jackets and hats bought with hard-earned pennies, while others, less fortunate, wore tattered rags and tread shoeless through the cold New York winters. In their quest to attract attention and sympathy, some Newsies resorted to desperate measures like feigning injuries or fabricating sensational headlines about fires, strikes, or corruption. Such tactics, driven by the need to survive, highlighted their cunning and determination to secure a day's earnings. The working conditions for Newsies in the late 19th century were abhorrent. Vivid photographs capture the sheer exhaustion etched on the faces of these young boys, forced to roam the bustling city streets from dawn till dusk. These were not just long hours under the sun. They represented stolen childhoods and missed educational opportunities. Instead of attending school, these boys were compelled to hawk newspapers in the harsh environments of brothels and saloons, scrabbling for every penny. The prevalence of Newsies, selling papers to nearly every inhabitant of New York, painted a stark portrait of urban child poverty and underscored the urgent need for reform in child labor laws. Their plight, culminating in the landmark 1899 strike, highlighted their crucial role and exploitative conditions within the newspaper industry, galvanizing public and legislative support for change. In a bold display of solidarity, the New York Newsies united into a formidable union and launched a strike against the steep increase in newspaper prices imposed by prominent publishers Joseph Pulitzer and Randolph Hearst. Their collective action proved triumphant, compelling the publishers to negotiate a settlement. Captured through the evocative lens of photographer Lewis Hine, these poignant images not only chronicled the Newsies' struggle but also ignited a broader movement against child labor, garnering extensive public support for significant reforms. The captions, preserved from the Library of Congress catalog, further enhanced the historical authenticity and impact of these photographs. The campaign against child labor reached a pivotal moment in 1916 when, driven by advocacy from the National Child Labor Committee and the National Consumers League, the U.S. Congress passed the Keating-Owen Act. This landmark legislation banned interstate commerce of goods produced by laborers below certain age thresholds, effectively phasing out child labor practices by the mid-1920s. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for more content. Also, don't forget to share this video with your friends. We appreciate your support